Harambee! Eneo hili si hivyo. Mambo ni matatu.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome back to our channel once again. Is Uhuru Kenyatta serious with Fred Matiang'i's presidential bid in 2027? I'm asking that question because if you are to talk to Raila Odinga supporters, they'll tell you two things. That number one, Uhuru Kenyatta really supported Raila Odinga's bid for the presidency of the Republic of Kenya. And that Uhuru Kenyatta genuinely wanted Raila Odinga to succeed him as the president of the Republic of Kenya. But the other thing they will also tell you is that as much as Uhuru Kenyatta wanted Raila Odinga to succeed him, he did not do much enough to enable Raila Odinga become the president of the Republic of Kenya. And that as a president, if he wanted Raila Odinga to become the president, he would have at least ensured that Raila Odinga became the president of the Republic of Kenya. I'm seeing a similar thing happening to Fred Matiang'i. And I want to offer my unsolicited advice to Fred Matiang'i. Uhuru Kenyatta is not interested in handing over Jubilee Party to you, Your Excellency, Fred Matiang'i. I'm saying this because Jubilee Party has appointed Fred Matiang'i as the deputy party leader. And they went further and announced him as their presidential candidate for 2027.
We as NEC also have appointed Dr. Fred Matiang'i as our deputy party leader going forward, and alongside that we have also resolved that Dr. Matiang'i represents us at the United Opposition, and on top of that, we also received formally his application to be the presidential candidate or Jubilee presidential candidate, and the NEC approved, resolved that he now carries the flag of Jubilee Party as our presidential candidate. And even as he goes to the United Opposition, he goes there in that capacity, and also representing our party leader or deputizing our party leader, and actually being the face of our party going forward, given that our party leader is not always available. I think the other important thing that we need to mention here is that we have also resolved that we will be communicating officially to the conveners of the United Opposition of that decision that was arrived at by NAC, and we are committed to the United Opposition, the desire to produce a united candidate, and he will be now sitting to help us with those kind of negotiations.
There is something about Jubilee Constitution which I think most of you need to go and read. According to Jubilee Constitution, the party leader is the automatic presidential candidate, and the deputy party leader is the automatic running mate. That was the arrangement they had, and that's why Uhuru was the Jubilee party leader and Ruto was the deputy party leader. A lot of things might have changed, but that one is yet to change. And I strongly believe that if Uhuru Kenyatta wants Matiang'i to become the next president of the Republic of Kenya, he should be ready and willing to hand over Jubilee Party fully to Fred Matiang'i. According to Jubilee, they've appointed Matiang'i as the deputy party leader. And these are some of the three things they expect Matiang'i to do. Number one, they want Matiang'i to represent Jubilee in the United Opposition. How will that be possible when Uhuru Kenyatta cannot sit on the same table with Rigathi Gachagua? When Uhuru Kenyatta, according to William Ruto, is meeting with him to plan how to make William Ruto's government work effectively. Trust cannot be there. So in short, Uhuru wants Matiang'i to work with United Opposition, while he, as Uhuru Kenyatta, is working on a relationship with President William Ruto. The second thing they want Matiangi to do is to spearhead nationwide recruitment of members. For me, that is a very good initiative and will help Fred Matiang'i. But there's a problem. You remember when, was it in September, when Uhuru Kenyatta chaired the Jubilee in DC? Matiangi was never given an opportunity to address that meeting. And after talking to several allies of Fred Matiang'i, what they told me was that Uhuru Kenyatta wanted that to happen like that, so that after that event, he was going to take Matiangi to tour Mount Kenya. Over 1 month, heading to 2 months, Uhuru Kenyatta is yet to take Fred Matiang'i on a tour of Mount Kenya. But of course, spearheading the nationwide recruitment of members is good for Matiang'i. And the third thing they want Matiang'i to do as the party leader is to build a robust grassroots network or support base. Of course, as a presidential candidate, and I've always opined on this platform on many occasions, that as a presidential candidate, you must have grassroots network. But Uhuru Kenyatta should be willing to hand over Jubilee Party to Fred Matiang'i. Why is Uhuru Kenyatta not interested in handing over Jubilee Party to Fred Matiang'i? That's exactly what I want us to analyze in this video. Before we do that, for those who are watching this channel for the first time, please take a second or two, click that subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. And to the subscribers, I want to continue thanking you guys for your continued support. Because without that support, this channel cannot be where it is. Ladies and gentlemen, I personally believe that Matiangi is the best presidential candidate for 2027. And for Matiangi to win the presidency, he must be packaged well. He must get the support of the mountain. He must get the support of the GNCs. And as a matter of fact, he must be appealing to the business communities in the Republic of Kenya. Because currently, businesses are being affected the most due to the tax regime, which I think are as a result of the Finance Bill 2024, which was passed secretly, just like Kimani Ichung'wah revealed the other day. So for me, for Matiangi to successfully campaign, he needed a party. I was one of the first people to explain to you guys why personally I felt that the move by Matiangi to join Jubilee was the best. It is actually the best for him. But he should not just join Jubilee. As the presidential candidate, he should have control over Jubilee. I want you guys to listen to Matiangi explaining why he decided to join Jubilee. Because in this video, I want to explain why Fred Matiang'i should be allowed the full control of Jubilee Party as the presidential candidate.
Wouldn't Fred Matiang'i form his own party, like Rigathi Gachagua went formed his own party? You have Wamala who has his own party, Kalonzo has his own party, Martha Karua has his own party, Justin Muturi has his party. Everybody around has his party apart from Dr. Fred Matiang'i.
But you see, again, how is it that the flip side of that argument is this? How is it that you're not crediting me for consistency? I served in the Jubilee administration under Jubilee president, implemented Jubilee policies. Why would I walk away from them now and go to articulate other policies? I believed in them then, I believe in them now. I believed in that system of management, I believe in it now. The flip side of it is that, how is it that you're not looking at my consistency, that I am consistent? I did not say things then that I will regret today. That what I told Kenyans then and how I worked then is how I would like to continue working. Because the flip side of it is to look at the consistency of it. That I am consistent in the manner in which I do stuff. I have remained faithful to the public service journey that I have walked. I have not changed. I'm not flip-flopping. Today I'm talking Jubilee, tomorrow I'm talking other things. How is it that you are not crediting me for consistency in an environment where some of these people you are talking about have jumped parties 6, 7, 8 times, and that doesn't even make them, any better.
Yeah. Speaking of, I mean,
So the question is, why would Uhuru Kenyatta not agree to hand over the leadership of Jubilee to Matiang'i? Number one, I think Uhuru Kenyatta wants to remain relevant, politically speaking. As a former president, it was expected that Uhuru Kenyatta was going to hand over Jubilee Party to Matiangi. That has not happened. So why would he insist on becoming or retaining the position of the party leader? Political relevance. So that even as Matiangi will be the presidential candidate, a different party leader would be in the shadows. If Matiangi becomes the president, Uhuru Kenyatta would still be the party leader, calling the shots. If, for example, Matiangi wants to take them to this direction as a presidential candidate, as a party leader, he will have leeway to say that direction. So in short, Uhuru Kenyatta wants to place himself in a position where he remains politically relevant. He can negotiate on behalf of Jubilee Party. That's number one. Number two, I also tend to think that Uhuru is interested in directing the politics of Jubilee Party. So the question is, why would Uhuru Kenyatta direct the politics of Jubilee Party? I've always explained to you guys that politics is about interest. Uhuru Kenyatta's interests are many. One of them is to retain power, to have members of parliament, to have senators, to have people nominated. As a party leader, he will be able to do that. As a party leader, he will be able to guide Jubilee to vote for Ruto or not to vote for Ruto, to vote for, to join united opposition or not. Let's just assume, as a presidential candidate, Matiangi decides that for him, he's going to work with Rigathi. Uhuru, as the Jubilee Party leader, says that for him, he's going that direction. And you all know the kind of respect Matiangi has for Uhuru Kenyatta. It's even going to put him in a very awkward situation. So I think Uhuru is just interested in directing the political direction in Jubilee Party. Number three, and I think this is the main reason why he's refused to hand over the party to Matiangi, Mount Kenya politics. Uhuru wants Jubilee to remain kind of Mount Kenya-based political party. Maybe with a different presidential candidate. Of course, Mount Kenya will not produce a presidential candidate. Even Rigathi, if you were to support Kalonzo, it would mean Kalonzo would not be from Mount Kenya. But it would be possible now for Uhuru Kenyatta to go to the mountain and tell them, look here, we have our party Jubilee, and Jubilee has a presidential candidate, but it doesn't control the party. So because of that, the mountain might decide, okay, let us vote for Matiangi and giving MPs so that if akileta shida, then we can figure out how to deal with him. And number four, I think it's about, game of numbers. Uhuru wants to control Mount Kenya politics. The reason for that, he wants to ensure that Jubilee Party will not fail the way they did in the last election. By the way, I'm in the village and we have some funeral here. That's why you are hearing, maybe you are not hearing it, but there's some background noise. Of course, I have a condenser microphone which is able to condense some of them. But the thing is, Uhuru is interested in game of numbers. He would want a situation where he would rather lose the presidency, but at least win several members of parliament, MCS, governors, senators, particularly from Mount Kenya. And lastly, this also could be a strategy for checkmating Matiangi. You know, politics is about betrayal. As much as Matiangi respects Uhuru Kenyatta, as much as Uhuru Kenyatta is pushing for his bid, what do you think will caution Uhuru Kenyatta from being betrayed? That today, he's campaigning for Matiangi, Matiangi becomes the president, he's the party leader. How will he ensure that he's not betrayed? It's about checkmating. So that he has the party, he will be very influential as a former president, and of course with the numbers, he will be able to checkmate Matiangi. And of course, Uhuru could also be clinging onto the party leadership position because of the post-election agreements. The truth is, 2027 might not be won first round. So Uhuru is hoping that we go for election, I become number 1, number 2, or number 3. So if he becomes number 1, or number 2, then they'll go for a rerun. But if he becomes number 3, because I'm seeing a situation where Matiangi, where Kalonzo will also be on the ballot. If he becomes number 3, then he will be the one now to decide to Jubilee Party that we either go direction A or direction B. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what you think. That's my take. I think Uhuru Kenyatta has refused to hand over control of Jubilee Party to Fred Matiang'i. Until next time, this is Lee Makwiny. Bye-bye.